Alright, what's up everybody? It is Carlos Collects Comics and I'm back with another episode of Monday Hauls. This is the web series where I share my comic book pickups from the past week to week and a half. And I can't wait to share with you all this House of Slaughter goodness that I've picked up over the past week and a couple of really cool back issues that I just happened upon. So stay tuned. I am excited because I had some great back issues that popped up. I'm going to get to those last. But first, I wanted to go to the book that everybody has been picking up. I think it broke 500,000 in sales for issue 1. It dropped. It is the follow-up prequel series to the biggest horror book to drop since The Walking Dead. I feel comfortable completely in saying that. But we have, I got my own set here of House of Slaughter books. Now, before you start wondering, did I pick up any of the ratio incentives? Not really. I'm not chasing too many of those right now. I'm letting kind of the dust settle on it to decide and have to read it to decide, do I really want to go in on this one. Plus there was a ton of regular covers as it was, and I did go ahead and double up this time. That's why my spec pick of the week, obviously I think like everybody's, is House of Slaughter. Now some people have said, well, you know, there's so many of them, it's not going to be the same as Something is Killing the Children #1, where these books are going to get up super high in terms of dollar amounts. And you know what? That's okay. That's okay if it doesn't. But I just wanted to make sure that I had one set for me, for personal collection, and then another set to sell if one of them, if it really does start to go up. So first up is House of Slaughter #1. This is the A cover, the one that, you know, this is the main cover right here. Did pick up 2 copies of this one. This is House of Slaughter #1, the B cover. Got 2 copies of this one. Got House of Slaughter #1, the foil, because the foil was one of the regular covers. I guess this is the C cover. So I got 2 of this as well. And then because I love them, I still have to get some of the artists going on some sketch covers, but I did get 2 also of the blanks for House of Slaughter #1. These are always great to have, because you never know when you're going to come across an artist who can give you a nice sketch. But yeah, those are my House of Slaughter pickups. Nothing crazy. It didn't even get the 1 in 10 or 11, whichever that one was. But I do think that this is a great book to pick up right now at cover price and just see where it goes. I mean, I have complete and total faith in James Tynion and all of his work. This is one of his babies. It is a series that they strongly considered before going into it, so I think he's got a plan with it. I think it's going to be great, and I know that House of Slaughter #1 is the first appearance of a new character. So I'm really looking forward to reading this and writing with it for a while. I know that some, again, will feel like it's, you know, there's too much and there's too many covers, print run's too high. But at the end of the day, I mean, let's just be completely honest. Everybody that's, you know, grousing on any forum anywhere, they've got their own stack. So you, comic book fan and friend of the channel, would be wise to just go ahead and pick up a copy or 2 for yourself, because they're out there, they're readily available, and make sure that you have at least 1 or 2 of these waiting for you. So that's my big new book purchase. I also wanted to spotlight some other neat pickups. Adventure Man is back. I shared with this, I think, a couple weeks ago. This is #6 right here that came out last week. Then, you know, I keep harping about it. I'm not going to say anything else about it, but it's Moon Knight #4, the A cover. This came out. Excellent series, and I highly recommend it. I'm looking forward to being able to sit down and read this one. Swamp Dogs #1. this came out. Now this was just an interesting premise, and so I went ahead and picked one of them up. This is the A cover, but I wasn't as intrigued by that one as this next one, which is Cross to Bear, #1. This is the A cover. I didn't pick up the ratio yet. This is my spotlight pick of the week because it just has, it has that kind of League of Extraordinary Gentlemen vibe to it. And so, you know, just the whole tying in the Crusades and this kind of, you know, ongoing battle. There was just some neat things going on with it. I wanted to pick it up, and so I'm recommending it as a spotlight pick. But I'm interested in hearing what you thought. If you picked it up, if you liked it or not. Yeah, I'd like to hear from you. So this spotlight pick right here. And then Batman the Long Halloween Special. I just picked up the A cover. I'm trying to tone down on all the variants, and you know there's variants for everything now. But this was one I just wanted to read because it's such an iconic, you know, the series is such an iconic original. So I wanted to pick this one up. And then last but certainly not least, Primordial #2 dropped, and this is another series that I highly recommend, especially if you're a fan of, you know, the Animal series. #1 had a jaw-dropping cliffhanger at the end, and so #2 is cool. The only thing is I didn't get to pick up any additional covers for this one. I just got one copy of the A cover of #2, but I'm okay with that because, you know, I'm not really chasing the variants or the ratios or the incentives or anything. I'm just focused on grabbing these to read them. So those are my new book pickups for this week. Here are the ones that I want to spotlight that were back issue finds. So I went into my main local comic shop today, or I mean not today, but on I don't know, it was Thursday or Friday, and they just bought a small collection of some 80s books, and I happened to see one of them sitting on top, and it was G.I. Joe #1. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you know that I'm building a G.I. Joe collection, or I'm building a G.I. Joe run. Now, here's the thing. I already had an issue #1. That was the first G.I. Joe book that I had. I had gotten it slabbed before I knew anything about slabbing. No pressing or cleaning. It came back a 9.6. So I don't want to mess with it. I've just held on to it, but I wanted a reader copy of #1, not, you know, like a reader copy, but like, you know, I wanted a copy in the slot in the run. But I didn't want to spend a lot of money on it. I'd come across copies that were in decent grades for like $300, $150. And so they had not just one, but they had two of these. And this one was being graded at about a 4.0. And I'd say, you know, it's between a 4 and a 5. It is complete. It's got some scratching on the cover here. Like, it's not a high-grade book by any stretch of the imagination. But the crazy part was that they sold it to me for $20. G.I. Joe #1 for $20. And I said, done. I didn't even have to think about it. The other one was the second copy was higher grade, so it was going to be more. But since I only wanted this to fill the slot in my personal collection run, and since I already have a very high grade slabbed copy, I wasn't concerned as much about condition. That one was going to be sold for $90, which I think is still a great deal. But $20 for G.I. Joe #1, a first print, and even a newsstand at that. I mean, yeah, I said absolutely, let me get that. But here's the other cool part about it. They didn't just have #1, they also had #2. So in yeah, this one's a direct, but they had a 2. This is at about I'd say a 5.5 to 6.0, give or take. And this one was like $12. And so I said, absolutely, I'm gonna, because the #2 that I had is a reprint. I think it's also a second. I think that one's a second print, or it was an action figure reprint, and that was also a placeholder in the personal collection run. But to find a first print of #2 for $12, even though it is a little bit lower grade, I just said absolutely, I'll take that one too. So I was very glad to grab these two for the G.I. Joe run and put those in there now. The only big book left in the run is G.I. Joe number 155, and that's one that continues to elude me. I had a good beat on one, but missed out on it, which, you know, it's okay. It happens sometimes. It happens sometimes. Last book. This one actually is one that I had picked up about, I guess, maybe a month ago or so. And this one was this was a personal collection pickup. I didn't think I was going to buy a slabbed copy of it, but the price was so good that I went ahead and got it, and I said, well, I'm just going to keep it slabbed, and it's going to go in my case there, in my Nerdstalgia stackable case in one of the windows. And if you check my Instagram at Carl's Collects Comics, you will see it there. But that book is none other than Thor number 337 in a 9.2 with white pages. This book, generally a very high, generally a higher price book, but this one was a buy it now at the affordable auction for only $175. And when I saw that, I just said, yeah, absolutely, I'm going to pick that up. Because, like I said, for personal collection books, I usually don't get slabs, but I mean, it was a comparable price slabbed as raw copies for the same grade were going. It was actually less, because I've seen high grade raw copies going for like 300 and more, but this one is the nicest 9.2 that I've ever seen. And when I was looking at it, I thought to myself, well, this actually honestly should have graded higher. I could have seen this one grading at about a 9.4. I don't think a 9.6, because it's got two color breaking spine ticks that no pressing was going to help. But it's a really clean copy, so I could have seen this easily hitting a 9.4 with white pages. So for $175, I felt like it was a bargain, and I was very glad to pick it up. So those are my pickups from the past week to week and a half. And like I said, the Thor 337, that's been here with me for about a month. I just hadn't showcased it in any of the Monday Hauls videos yet, so I was excited to be able to do that. It's been great to hang out with you. Please drop a like for this video. Leave a comment. My ongoing rule is that if you take the time to leave a comment on one of my videos, I'm going to take the time to respond. So every single comment gets a response, and at least I'm able to do that. I'm so excited because the channel has broken 400 subscribers, and we are in giveaway territory. I announced it on my Friday feature, but I'll go ahead and share it here as well. One of the giveaways is going to be this raw copy of Invincible #1, the local comic shop day variant. This one is a very high grade copy. I thought about getting it slabbed because I could see it coming back really high, but instead I'm going to go and do it as a giveaway raw for those who are subscribing here and also following on Instagram. And there are other books, including a copy of Something is Killing the Children. I'll let you know which issue and printing it's going to be later. And then there's some other books that will begin. But we are well into giveaway territory. I've been promising it since we broke 200 subscribers, I think like a little over a month ago. But it is time to start delivering and giving some of those away, so stay tuned for that. But like I said, to like and comment, then also make sure to turn on the notifications. It's the little bell in the top right. If you hit that so that there's a check mark, you will get a notification every time a new video on the channel goes live. And I'm excited to continue to roll these videos out. Last but not least, please consider subscribing to the channel. I want a community here of folks where we can interact in the comments, where we can also, once we start the live shows, which those are coming, we're going to be able to interact with one another in real time and I'm going to get to bring over some friends from different corners of the comic universe, and all of us just hang out here and talk about this hobby that we all love. Even though we collect differently, we all have a love for this hobby and enjoy it, and on some level, it's just a part of us, ingrained in us, this medium that we're all part of. So it's been fun to hang out with you. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Monday Hauls. I'm Carlos Collects Comics, and I'm signing out for the night. Go read some comics, go get some comics, and I'll see you later on this week for the Friday feature.